SpaceX finally IPO'd, and everyone who screamed bubble got it wrong again. The war with Iran is over, oil is crashing, and the market is ripping to record highs. We had a pretty good week, up 5.2%. Let's get into it. Hi guys, welcome to a new portfolio update episode, and let's get straight to the point. So this week we're up 5.2% versus S&P 2.2%. I'm actually recording this on Monday. I usually record on Sundays, but if I would record this on Sunday, we would be up 1.2% versus S&P 0.6%, and that's because today's a great day. We have some Iran peace deal finally, but more of that later. Since the start of the portfolio, we're up 60.8% versus S&P 27.6%, which is great, I think. So before we get to my stuff, let's talk about the market in general. And the big one. The big one is SpaceX IPO. SpaceX IPO this Friday. And guys, let me tell you something. It happens every single time. It should be a lesson for me, for you, for everybody, I think. What did everybody say about SpaceX? That it's expensive, that the valuation is stupid, that this company is a big bubble. People were telling that, let me quote, it's the biggest rug pull ever. And guess what happened? SpaceX opened at 150 on Friday and it went up to 170 actually. And this should be a lesson for everybody. Do not follow market blindly, because usually, even if the market is right, I also think that valuation is stupid, and I don't think that SpaceX should trade at such high valuations, though Tesla trades for such a long time. So I mean, maybe SpaceX should, maybe I'm wrong, but don't go short when everybody is saying that you should go short. And that's a lesson for markets also in general. When everybody is bearish, usually markets go up. And here's the other big story, Iran. So let's rewind. The conflict flared up again. Iran downed an aircraft, or it might have been a helicopter. I don't remember actually, but basically, Trump came up with big threats that, he didn't say exactly what he's gonna do, but the market was thinking that he's about to put boots on the ground, hit the Kark Island, the usual stuff. And of course, stocks went down. And 2 days later, he says, no, we actually have a great peace deal. And, right now, we have a news. Stock surged to record highs as US-Iran peace deal lifts risk appetite. That's great. S&P is up like 1.6% based on this news. So everything is great. Don't ever listen to Trump and don't make your financial decisions based on what Trump says, because he might say A and the next day he says B. Okay, so just focus on data. And speaking about data, oil is down to $80 a barrel, which which is great actually. I think it still has some room to go down, but that's exactly why stocks are up so much today. It's because of this news and oil being down. And when we go back to some news of the previous week right now, which is, I want to talk about this one. May CPI rises 4.2% year over year, a 3-year high. So it came in pretty hot, 4.2%, but it was in line with expectations, so the market didn't really react to the number itself. I think the move that day was actually on the Trump's comments. And here's the important part, actually. Almost all of this was energy. Energy jumped about 4.4%, and that was the main driver. Core inflations, stripping out food and energy, was only up about, let me read it, 2.9%. So this is not a huge spike in the underlying trend. If anything, we're still in this mm, core inflation downtrend. And now that oil is dropping because of this Iran deal, that's actually disinflationary going forward. So I don't think the inflation threat is really that big right now, especially with oil back to 80s. All right, let's run through news. A lot of these don't change the thesis, but they're nice little signs of execution. So let me walk you through them. Uber. Uber opened a waitlist in London for its Wave robotaxi launch this summer. It's not a fundamental game changer yet. There's still a safety driver, but it's a really nice sign of execution on the autonomy story. And that's why I own Uber. I don't think there'll be just one robotaxi winner. I think there'll be many, and Uber will have a big stake in that. It'll be a nice platform for all the robotaxis, and I think that Uber will be one of the winners. Novo Nordisk, nice news here. The Wegovy pill crossed 3 million prescriptions in about 5 months, and 80% of those are people new to GLP-1s, so it's growing the whole market, not just stealing shares. And Medicare coverage kicks in July 1st, around $50 a month for eligible seniors. That's a real tailwind. The pushback is that it's a competitive field, basically a race with Eli Lilly, but I think the weight loss market is genuinely growing. It has a real potential, and that's why I own both Novo and Lilly. I just want exposure to a whole weight loss market. I'm not trying to pick the single winner. I just want to be in this whole market right now. Uh, all right, Rubrik. Rubrik had its analyst day. I haven't watched the whole thing. I've only read the news, but it was solid, I think. They announced the Strata acquisition for better identity continuity. So what this means is that when a company gets hacked, the thing that usually gets wrecked is your identity system. Basically, your logins, Active Directory, who's allowed into what. Now, Rubrik could already clean that up after the attack, restore your identity system to a healthy state. They even rolled out a new in-house tool for that called Identity Roll Forward, which rebuilds it while keeping the legitimate changes, uh, like people you hired or fired since the last backup, instead of wiping everything back to a null snapshot. So that's recovery, and that part they basically already heard. But here's the piece what's actually new and what Strata brings. Identity continuity, which recovery fixes your identity system after it goes down, but that still takes time. And meanwhile, nobody can log in. Continuity is about keeping people logged in during the attack. Uh, if your main login provider gets knocked out, Strata automatically fails over to a backup one, so your employees can still get into the critical apps while the recovery happens in the background. So, mm, it's a nice little addition, I think. Uh, they also leaned hard into the agentic AI across the platform, basically a Rubrik AI agent to help drive the recovery itself. Now, all of this is forward looking, no real revenue, but I like the execution. I like that they keep making the product better, and it gives me more confidence to buy. Yeah, it gives me more confidence that they'll hit the guidance and keep growing for the next couple of years. Uh, I actually broke down their earnings in a separate video, so go check this out. Oscar is growing like crazy. It's about, I think, $28 a share. I'm up about 100% on this name. but still, market doesn't trust it, and every time Oscar reaffirms its guidance, their stock goes up. I think if market really trusted the Oscar management, Oscar would be trading at $40 a share. And I need to reevaluate a little bit Oscar right now. Maybe I need to take some profits and stuff, but for now, I think that Oscar is still a good hold for me. Robinhood. Robinhood got approved to act as an IPO underwriter. So instead of just distributing other people's IPOs, they can be in the syndicate now. A nice new high margin revenue stream. And notice, Robinhood went up even while the Bitcoin was down because they've got so many tailwinds, like with the World Cup, all the prediction market stuff, and now this. Mm, with Robinhood, it's honestly not about the numbers. I mean, the numbers are great, but but it's more about execution. You see them shipping new products, and you believe they'll become a huge company. The numbers will come. Right now, it's all about execution. Amazon. AWS 5 reaches general availability with new EC2 instances. I mean, this is great. Graviton is Amazon's own custom chip and ARM CPU, and it's about 25% faster than the last generation, aimed at those agentic AI workloads. I mean, the point isn't the spec, it's that their own silicon means better margins and less dependence on buying everyone else's chips. I mean, it's pristine, but it's exactly the kind of things you want to see, and it might actually change a little bit of the sentiment right now. So let's talk about the Adobe right now, because Adobe reported its earnings, and it's actually crazy. They trade at something like 8 times forward earnings, so it's really cheap. Revenue is growing 13%. We even see revenue growth reacceleration. What's more, I mean, beats across the board, guidance raised, everything looks great, but the main reason why the stock dropped, I mean, there were actually two reasons. One is that they're more focused on mm, market share and revenue growth than uh, the the margins. Right now, they offer some freemium products, but I think that's not the case. I mean, the biggest case why the stock dropped is because of the CFO. The CFO is leaving right after the CEO left, and I mean, it's even a red flag for me. Uh, However, he is not leaving just to leave. He is leaving to become Marvel's CFO, which is like a small promotion. You could think about that. So maybe that's not a very big red flag, but still, uh, I'm not buying Adobe right now. I think that in theory, this company is great, but I see a little bit of red flags, and I want to wait either for sentiment changes or just a couple of quarters to see what's next, actually. And if it's a good buy or if there's actually some underlying issue that we don't see right now. Now, the last news of the previous week, CoreWeave to join Nasdaq 100 index. And you know what? Actually, Nebius is also expected to join the Nasdaq 100 index. So, I mean, this is great, but also maybe let's jump to the current week, and because I want to talk a little bit about the neoclouds themselves. Uh, so I was thinking a little bit about it. I mean, we see some good news for Iran. It's secured another 490 megawatts in Spain, which is great. Uh, but there's so much bearish talk, maybe not bearish talk, but people are asking good questions. If there are so many AI players and such a huge build out, Will AI compute become a commodity? And I think that in future, yes. The question is how far it is in the future right now. Because if it's far, then we can make a ton of money on Iran and CoreWeave. But if it's sooner than we expect, well, this might be a little bit of problem because all of this AI compute might become commoditized, and that basically means that the margins will not be great and multiples will not be great and earnings will not be great, right? Which is kind of bad. And but that's the main reason why I own Nebius. Why the Nebius is my biggest position right now, because they're not only focused on AI compute, they actually focused a little bit on the software side also. And if we look at the true hyperscalers, true hyperscalers like AWS, GCP, Azure. I mean, the compute itself was a commodity for a long time. It was pretty cheap, yet still these clouds grew a lot. It was really profitable for them. Why? Because they also shipped a ton of software with the clouds themselves, a ton of software that allowed high availability, easy uh, way to spin up on demand instances, and so on. And that's why I believe that Nebius is probably the best of the three of them. And I'm actually looking to slowly take some profits from Iron, and maybe if I see CoreWeave growing really hard, I mean going to like 200s on or something, I would probably sell it, and I actually might move some more of my portfolio allocation to Nebius uh, from the other two hyperscalers. All right, one last news for today. Nvidia launched first bond offering since 2021, seeking at least $20 billion. Now the official reason is general corporate purposes, including refinancing some existing debt. But market is also speculating that, well, maybe they want to make more buybacks, maybe they want to make some investment, some stake in some other company, right? So who knows? And Nvidia actually sold off a little bit on this news, but I think it's not bearish. It actually might be a little bit bullish. Okay, now let's go to my activity and let's see what I did this week. So I sold some I bought some Microsoft, I bought some Nu, I bought some Nvidia, and I sold some AMD. On Microsoft, I mean, damn, this company is dirt cheap. I really want to keep adding. I think it's one of the most disrespected companies right now. Great growth, incredibly sticky revenue, and come on, nobody is disrupting them. So yeah, that's the stuff I want to buy. I sold some AMD because I don't love the valuation anymore, and I would sell even more. Actually, I actually might sell more, but see a nice little breakout here. Technically, the chart looks great, so I might speculate a little bit on that. But if I see it being rejected from this double top here and here, you actually can see it probably. All right, never mind. So if I see it rejected, this 550, then I might actually sell it all even. So yeah, I would like to move it to Nvidia, to Microsoft, maybe to Nu or some other Latin American names, especially now since oil is down. I think the Latin American names look good again. Uh, and one more thing, I'm also looking at Broadcom. Mm, I might actually sell AMD to buy some Broadcom, but I'm still analyzing this company. But I will talk about it maybe a little bit more next week. So that's the week, and honestly, a great start for this one. The macro picture just flipped, the worst over, oil's coming down, rate fears are easing, and we're hitting new record highs as I record this. Next week, we've got the Fed, so we'll dig into that. You know what I'm looking to do. Maybe a deposit, maybe trim a little bit more of AMD. We'll see. And guys, I'm really glad you are here with me. I appreciate every bit of your feedback, and I hope you have a great weekend. Your stocks keep going up. See you in the next one. Bye.